Biology chapter 18, theory video 15, maintaining biodiversity. So extinction is not something that that is caused only by human beings. It happens naturally as well. Just like new varieties of different animals and plants and microbes develop, that is, they evolve from a new from an old species, they evolve into a new species. Just like that happens naturally, due to natural reasons also animals go into extinction. But there are mass extinction events. For example, many of these mass extinction events in the past, all of them were caused by natural events. For example, an asteroid strike or a sudden change in the environment due to a volcanic eruption or something of that sort would result in a mass extinction event. However, now we are also, going really fast into another mass extinction event, and even right now, as we speak, this mass extinction event is actually it has begun. So this is done by humans because we have changed the environment of the earth by changing the habitat. So the loss of habitats for many of the species is a big problem, and the reason why it is a problem is because many of the organisms are adapted to survive in a certain particular environment, and if those conditions are not met, then they are going to die off. So we cut down the rainforest, we drain wetlands, and we pollute the air, water and soil. Everything that is there on earth is being polluted by human activity. These things results in the animals to disappear, animals and plants to disappear. As a result of this human activity, there is a climate change, and this climate change is also a cause of extinction. So now you know that these different kinds of animals, orangutans, live in Borneo, and they are die off. The orangutans are known as man in the wild, that is humans in the wild. They are these animals, they are almost human like in their behavior. So they don't have a place to live because we destroy their habitats. Then also introducing alien species is also another reason. Now in New Zealand there are no natural cats, but when they introduced these cats and rats to their ecosystem in the 17th and 18th centuries, when the Europeans took over these lands, when they introduced them, there were no predators for these flightless birds. So they say that 53 species of flightless birds have become extinct. So that's a very large number, massive number of. So because we are a single species, human beings are a single species. So 53 different species of birds have disappeared as a result of the predation by these introduced animals. Then competition is another problem. That is, now there had been about 30 different varieties of dogs in North America, but now there have been large number of dog species in North America, but now it has reduced to very few because of the introduction of cat species from Asia and other area, Asia and Middle East. So they were introduced into the North America, and because of the competition for food, these animals have dogs have not had enough food to eat, because they are both carnivores and they don't have food to eat, and as a result they lose their they lose the competition and they die off. Then also, um, uh, then also many different types of birds have died off because of the domestication of cats. It is obviously not the fault of the cats because it is humans who domesticate them. When cats are allowed outside of their homes, they hunt birds, many different species of birds, and they can actually hunt to extinction because the number of cats are not natural, because we allow them to, they breed because our numbers are high. So there is a direct relationship between domesticated animals, number of domesticated animals, and human beings, because these domesticated animals obviously have the opportunity and they don't have any predators, because they are protected by the lack of predators, and because we give them food, they increase in numbers, and as a result they can hunt these birds to extinction. Then, to talk about the reasons for maintaining biodiversity, there are many different reasons. A lot of people think that it is the moral and the ethical thing to do to protect these animals, because this earth belongs to everyone, every species. But many people believe that we have the custody of the earth, and as a result we have the responsibility to protect it. Thinking that way is good, but many people through their religions believe that the uh, earth belongs to us, and it is a gift given by God as our playground. So they think that they can do whatever they want with it. Then another argument that is brought forward is for ecological reasons, because biodiversity should be maintained, and if biodiversity is increased, or that means if it is the high now we learnt earlier, if when there is a high biodiversity, it is very likely that the when the conditions change, it is not going to be flip over, or it is not going to be unbalanced very easily. If there are very few species, then obviously it is going to be unbalanced very easily. As a result, there can be a lot of problems, and as a result. Now, to give you an example, this Enhydra lutris. So this is a predator of sea urchins in kelp forests. So when these otters were hunted out, their numbers decreased, and when they decreased, what happens was sea urchins increased very quickly, and they ate through these kelp forests, and as a result, because there were many different organisms dependent on these kelp forests, and they died off. Then now killer whales are killer whales hunt these otters as well, because overfishing has resulted in killer whales hunting sea otters, because sea otters is not a natural food of killer whales, but they have to eat it because they don't have enough food, because we take all their food. Then African bush elephant. These animals who are very important to an ecosystem or ecological balance. They are known as keystone species. Now, African bush elephant is another keystone species of the savanna grasslands, because they because they have the ability of destroying large trees. Many of the plants are grasses in these places. uh, that is to that is to protect these plants from these massive species. So the elephants have, when they when they get rid of their dung or the elephant dung, it is a very rich habitat for dung beetles and a variety of different plants as well. So that provides the natural ecological balance, and it provides the environment for these animals to thrive, animals and plants to thrive. However, these animals are close to extinction because of poaching and hunting for their ivory. So that is, they are also being destroyed. Then another reason is economic reasons. Many of the antibiotics are isolated from fungi and bacteria. Then also there are cancer drugs that have been taken out of many plants, like Catharanthus roseus is another Madagascan plant. From these, cancer drugs are obtained. Then there are other drugs taken out of plants that grow in Himalayan yew plant. So this yew plant is actually almost close to extinction because of over extraction and over cutting down for medicinal and for fuel use. Then because these plants are available, we can figure out that there are medicinal properties to these plants, and if we kill them off, then we don't have that. So there are Chinese and Indian medicines, that is Ayurveda medicine, is being is getting a comeback in the world, because many diseases can be cured using these if they are properly learnt and understood. Then wildlife is a source of economy for many countries which promote eco-tourism. Belize, Malaysia, Maldives, Costa Rica, and obviously Sri Lanka also, they promote these national parks and the nature for them to come and observe. So that is going to be lost if we do not protect the ecosystem. Then there is a thermophilic bacterium that is found in Yellowstone National Parks. So this bacterium is actually used for analysis of DNA to help in the polymerase chain reactions, and as a result they have an industrial use as well. Then aesthetic reasons is another reason why people believe that animals and these ecosystems need to be protected. That is, people enjoy looking, watching and studying the natural world. Then agricultural reasons is another point. That is finding out what is the best and what is the most suitable and what is most survivable plant that can be grown is not going to come to effect if there is only one variety. So in the natural world, there are many varieties because of different environmental conditions and different diseases, etc. We can actually cross these different natural varieties with the varieties that we have a high yield of, and then develop varieties that are most useful for us. Then environmental reasons. Obviously, the carbon dioxide is absorbed by forests and peat bogs, and they decrease the carbon dioxide in atmosphere. You know what happens when carbon dioxide concentration increases. It results in global warming. Then we destroy this by by polluting it. So there are many different there are many different uses of microorganisms as well. Now, the organic waste that is added to water will will actually convert nitrogen, sulfur and phosphorus. They use these things and they actually recycle the waste materials that are there, and as a result plant growth is dependent on the uh, dependent on that recycling process. So if there are if the amount of recycling, nitrogen fixation and those kind of activities, and if the carbon dioxide absorption, if these are not if they do not take place at the optimum levels, it will cause severe catastrophic damage to the natural order. Write down a note. Reason for maintaining biodiversity. Complete dying out of an organism of a species is known as extinction. Many species go into extinction naturally. A mass extinction event is when large numbers of species going into extinction at one time one time due to sudden changes in the climate. For example, large asteroid collision, etc. So obviously you know that 65 million years ago dinosaurs were forced into extinction by this by a large asteroid. Write down. Right now, human caused mass extinction is taking place due to loss of habitats, competition for food, competition for resources, and introduction of new species to habitats. Reasons for maintaining biodiversity. Number one, moral and ethical reasons. Number two, ecological reasons. Under that, write a small explanation. The balance of the ecology, the balance of the ecosystem is maintained by each participant that makes up the ecosystem. If the biodiversity is less, a small change will affect the entire ecosystem. Number two, economic reasons. Underneath that, write an explanation. Production of drugs, ecotourism, are possible because of high biodiversity. Next one, aesthetic reasons. Next one, agricultural reasons. Underneath that, write down mass produced crop plants do not have much genetic diversity, but their wild relatives provide different genetic resources which we can add to the genetic diversity of crop plants to obtain higher yields and reduce damage caused by diseases. Next one, environmental reasons. Absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is done by forests and peat bogs. And also recycling of elements, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur and phosphorus by termites, ants and many species of fungi and bacteria is essential for the continuous progression of the natural world. I hope you understood. If you have any difficulties or if you need any further explanation, please let me know.